So I'm making this video instead of doing my computer science homework. And as much as I'd like to do my computer science homework, I've pretty much lost all will and hope of ever completing it. In fact, it's part of a final, and it is actually really, really fucking hard to get that shit done because I'm just procrastinating at this point. What can I say? Um, it's really interesting because I am a very firm believer that people don't get what they deserve, and they don't necessarily get what they want, and they don't necessarily get what they need. For the most part, people get what they work for and what they believe they deserve. Um, I used to do a lot of drugs, and I mean I'd smoke weed every day. I'd do cocaine whenever it was around. I bought cocaine maybe once in my life, but if you were like, yo, go for this drive and pick up this cocaine for me, and you would give me some, or you would do the cocaine with me, I'd go get it. I got arrested for that shit, because that's the type of person I am. Um, I really don't want to be that person again. Not because I didn't enjoy that life, because I'm like a really, really unwise person. Like, I thought that was fun shit. I know it was self-destructive. I know that ultimately it gave me nothing in my life that I wanted in a long-term sense. But for 10 years, because I won't say for 10 minutes, because I didn't do that for 10-minute highs, like to do some cocaine. But for 10 years, nah, probably 12, 13 years, it was the greatest thing, just to wake up and get high. And I thought that the greatest thing on top of that would be to get high next to a beautiful woman, or to wake up next to a beautiful woman. And that would be the greatest thing for me, because there wasn't much that I wanted. I didn't want, well, I did want lots of money, but I didn't want to work for it. I didn't care about working for lots of money. I didn't even care about money for the most part, other than the momentary things that it got me. And I never have needed money out of necessity. But I'm a very lucky person who has continuously come in to money from one source or another. And I haven't worked a solid day since I was 25. I've done things to go towards working, like I'm going to school right now, or I would do things that some people would consider work, like I would hustle or transport other people's drugs. But real work, on an honest day's work of backbreaking labor, I haven't gotten paid for that since I was 22, 23 on probation, and my probation officer said, get a job. This this brings me to my point. I grew drugs at one point, and I wanted, I was trying to run in such a way that I could never be caught. I was running away from my problems physically, mentally, and emotionally. Um, there were people I cared about who I didn't even know I cared about them until they were gone. And that is a lesson to you all. If you don't care about somebody, or you think you don't, cut them out of your life. Because if you think that you're using somebody, which I never tried to do, but I think they might have used me, which is something I was okay with. I don't understand that type of person, but I'm willing to be used if you give me what I want. More than anything, I will sell out and slave and do whatever it is if I think I'm going to get what I want. And what I've wanted from people has changed over years of time. I thought I wanted somebody to be there. I had somebody there and I was like, nah, I didn't actually want you here. I wanted someone to have sex with, and I had sex with somebody, and then I was like, this isn't what I want. Which is actually a great conundrum to me, because I like sex, but I don't like sex with everybody. Which is something people have to learn, I guess, because some people will just have sex with anybody, and some people will never have sex with anybody, have sex with somebody, and then be like, I hate sex. You could have solved your problems long ago if you had just figured that out. I don't make emotional attachments. My sister says I'm the most disconnected person from reality that she knows. Like, I'm clinically crazy. I'm schizophrenic. And when I told somebody how I was schizophrenic, they were like, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Because when I'm schizophrenic and I'm like symptomatic and out there being insane, which was really fun for me, which was why I was able to do drugs so long before going, I need to get my life together. And I only got my life together because I met somebody that I wanted to do other things with. And that's it. Sometimes you're just passing time and killing time to figure out what you're trying to do. But I just wanted to do drugs and be around beautiful women, and I did that for a long ass time. But after a while I learned that like that shit wasn't fun for me. Not anymore. Like, I met a girl who was with somebody else, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna kill this dude, because before I said that before this girl even showed up to me and I met her in person, I was doing stupid fucking crazy shit. Like, I wasn't stalking the person, but I would keep tabs on them. And like, this is the information age where you can find out anything about a person if you look hard enough and you know where to look. And if you can't find anything out about a person, you can pay somebody to find something out about somebody. But I would keep tabs on them, and I still keep tabs on that person. But I sat down with 3 gentlemen, and I explained to all 3 of them before this person showed up, because I knew she was coming. Because she was hanging out with people that I hung out with, and she was doing that recently. So I I told them, I was like, yo, if you guys come between me and this person, or you do something that fucks things up with this person, I will be upset, and there will be repercussions. And well, one of the guys didn't care. One of the guys I found out was racist, so I can't really believe whether or not. Well, actually, I shouldn't say he's racist because he'll communicate, but he was a white supremacist, and I find that interesting because I didn't know that till later, but I was like, whatever. And I asked him about it, and he didn't want to talk about it, and he didn't want to fight over it, and I was like, I guess that's a smart decision on your part, because I'll do either. Because I'll make or break your beliefs real quick if I can do it. I get off on it, making people question themselves. But that person came, and like, I disappeared because I get fat. Every time I get schizophrenic, oh, that reminds me, I forgot to tell you. When I get schizophrenic, I see, like, if you look slightly like a person that I really wish was there or something, I will see that person superimposed over your face. And it'll fuck me up, because if I go out in public and there's like, I'm just walking through a crowd, I might see like a whole bunch of people from my past that I haven't talked to in years. And they will just be wandering through the crowd. And after a while, I got used to not talking about that. But anyway, when I get schizophrenic, I get grabbed. Like, more than likely, I will get arrested, or somebody will be like, that motherfucker is crazy, and I will get put in some sort of institution. Usually until they're like, calm down, take these pills, and don't be that person that you were like when you come in here. But I got fat because I got grabbed. And I was crazy. Like, I also go berserk, and I was just trying to fight everyone. Because that's what I enjoy when I'm crazy. Like, 1% of people that are schizophrenic, and then 1% of those people are, like, completely psychotic. Like, you know how Hell's Angels or bikers will be, like, 1%ers, and they'll be like, I'll fucking cut you? Well, 1% of schizophrenic people are fucking dangerous all the fucking time, and I'm in that boat. But, I told them not to fuck with her, and I came back after getting grabbed and being like, I'll be back, and spending like weeks or months or whatever, because I have no sense of time away, and I came back super fit, and she was fucking one of those dudes. And I was like, I can understand this, because she's a really hot girl. Like, I probably would have done the same thing and then just fought over it, but I like to fight. This guy didn't like to fight, and I wanted to fuck him up in ways that he didn't understand. Like, he was getting, people were beating him up just to beat him up because he was doing stupid shit all around. And I was like, that's funny, because I'm going to either crush you when you're at your weakest, or I'm going to figure out what it is you really care about, and then I'm going to fuck with that, because that's what you did to me. So, this girl, I cared about her before I knew, like, before I knew her personally. And she was a really nice girl, and we got as close as a person can get to me without, we got close in my eyes, because we were physically close for a minute. And I don't get close to people. For the most part, I don't like to touch people. And I don't like people to touch me emotionally or physically, and especially not emotionally. Mentally, I love being touched. Like, fuck with my mind. Make me think. But, I was like, I'm gonna fuck these people up. And I told one of them, I was like, dude, when you least expect it, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. It might take me a million years. I might see you, like, at a, I might see you waiting for the subway or waiting for a bus or something, and you'll be like, ha, what's up? And we'll exchange a conversation, and then I'll just push you into traffic, and you'll die and get hit by a car. Because I will wait for that last moment to ensure that you do. And then I'll be like, oh, I don't know, he tripped. Because that was the type of, like, underhanded, sneaky shit that I would do. And I don't think it's sneaky or underhanded, because anybody I've ever done really fucked up things to, I told them beforehand that they had that shit coming. But, I did a lot of property damage and destruction, and really fucked with people's lives in ways that I could. Like, if you sell drugs and you think you're untouchable because of whatever reason, like you're disabled or the money will protect you or something like that, I'm real quick to show you that that is not possible. Because there's no such thing as untouchable. Anybody can be touched if people are willing to go to those lengths. It's like getting into a fist fight. Like, punching somebody, that will hurt your hands if you do it enough. And you can break every bone in your wrist and break all these metacarpals and all these metacarpals and all of that. But that is the way I, like, proceed. I'm like, I will punch you in any way I can until it is no longer, like, until I feel vindicated, or until there's nothing left for me to punch. And the people that I was with told me to stop. The two of the guys disappeared, but one of the guys, not the guy I really wanted to fuck with, but he had nowhere to go, and I knew where he lived, so I broke all the windows in his house, and I pretty much wrecked his shit. and was just like, what are you going to do? So he would send people to my house and tell me to stop, or else things would happen. He would call my mom and tell her to pay for shit, and she would be like, that ain't my problem. And I was like, damn, bro, what are you going to do? You should call the cops. And because he sold drugs, he couldn't call the cops. And because I met him doing drugs, I think he thought I would just like calm the fuck down and do some drugs and be okay. But I was not. But I broke all the windows at that guy's house, and I pretty much wrecked his shit in its entirety as much as I could without physically hurting him, because he was in a wheelchair. And if you ever see this video, I'd do it again. But next time I say don't do something, just listen to me. That's all you gotta do. That's all you really have to do, is listen to me when I tell you not to do something. Because I don't think I'll ever see you again. I might, but it's unlikely now. But you never know what happens. I I miss this person. It has been years since I've seen them. I Google them every now and again, and they are, as far as I know, getting their life in order. And when I met them and after I stopped talking to them, I was like, I'm gonna change my life. I quit doing drugs. Um, I started going to school, and like I generally stopped trying to be the asshole that I was. And a girl that I think is very cool told me the fact that I changed my life, and then I stuck with that change after that person was like, no, I'm not dealing with you, that I actually cared about her. And I was like, I'm glad you said that, because everybody else was just like, you're obsessive and psychotic. And I was like, I can live with that, because that's how I felt. I was like, I am obsessive, and there are times where I am completely psychotic. But this girl said that, I was like doing other things, like I actually cared, which is a change for me. I don't know if I will ever see that girl again, but because she's the person that I want for right now, and has been the person I want for like pretty much since I've known of her existence, like I don't know if there are things I can do about that. Somebody once said, dreams don't die, they just get filed away as time goes by. And I'm really trying not to file that dream away. Like, I would literally do anything for this person. Um, this is going to sound crazy and shit, but fight ninjas, do whatever. Like, I would do anything or die doing anything for that person. And that person didn't like me as the person I was, because I was like, I'm crazy and I love it, and she was like, I'm crazy and I'm not trying to be that girl, because she didn't like being that girl. And I didn't care about being crazy, and I didn't care about being that guy until it cost me that person's friendship and anything else that would go down. I I hope there's some sort of lesson that I can convey from this, but I just wanted to get that out there, because that's something I had to get off my chest, and I wanted to talk to somebody. And posting it on Snapchat and bullshit is like, okay, but 15 seconds isn't a long time. I lied next to this person because she asked me to keep her warm for like 45 minutes to an hour. And the only thing I ever asked from her, is that she not die. And since she didn't do that, and she is still alive out there, she is doing something that I want her to do. And if you think you care about a person, and then you're like, I don't want to deal with you anymore, I wish you'd die, then you have one of two things. One, you either never cared about that person and you were just killing time, or two, you have resentment. And I think if you have resentment, then I think you still care. I don't have resentment, and I understand why she doesn't talk to me, because there are stupid things that I did. Like, I threatened to kill pretty much every person I came in contact with. And I was seeing her so many places, and I was just like, I told her dad I'd kill him. I didn't know the guy, I hadn't seen him, but I was like, I'll kill you. I wrote that girl like an email or a blog post every day for like 6 months before like my medication started kicking in real hard, and I was like, okay, I need to stop because I'm obviously out of control. And I can understand if she didn't want to deal with that, because that shit's scary. Like, people get weird over people all the time. And I don't think that like, I know from experience, people who are being weird and being psychotic and being out of control and stalking people and shit, like, one, they're dangerous, but I don't think they know they're dangerous. Like, I knew I was dangerous, but I couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't stop. If she had like turned around and walked through my door, which has been like my single problem throughout this, is like sometimes I expect people to just turn around, walk at my door, and hopefully shoot me in the face because they don't want to deal with my shit anymore. But I think that I wouldn't have been able to do anything. Like, I would have been dumbstruck and my mind would have broken and shit like that. Like, some people aren't ready. Some people just aren't ready for the things they want. Like, for all I know, I would have ignored her because I've cared about people and I've told them I cared about them and missed them, and then I saw them on the street and I couldn't even talk to them because, once again, I'm schizophrenic and I see you everywhere anyway. So I'm always really alone, and I'm always really with somebody because I will always see other people in other people. And that is tragic, because I can't get attached to other people if I have somebody on my mind. Not because the emotions aren't there, but the emotions are there for somebody else. And even if I see you as that person, like, that's really tragic on your half, because then I'm using you, and I try not to use people. I've had people try and talk to me and like have a relationship going and stuff, and I'll be like, nah, you're not what I want, and if you're not what I want, you have to at least be what I want in a general sense, and if you're not that, then you have no shot. And I might be lonely, and that might be tragic, but like, it'll only last a minute. After a while, my mind will kick in and I'll be like, I'm using you, and I don't like to use people. So I don't talk to those people anymore. People get what they deserve, whether they acknowledge it or not. You practice every day for a test, or like for any, actually, you practice any day for a test, let it be physical or emotional or mental, like a school test, a test of like running a race. You will at least do the best you say you could have done because you practiced every day. You ran every day, or you studied every day, or like you like, not necessarily put it through your mind, but your mind went through everything, and you were like, there's some part of me that has to accept that this person will either shoot me down and say I don't want to deal with your shit, or will be like, nah, I really like you as a person. But you have to practice for those tests all the time. When this guy started sleeping with this girl, I sat down with those three guys again, as I sat there and was like, you guys don't know this, but when I told you I was going to fuck your shit up, and like, we're here sitting, talking, smoking this weed right now, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to fuck your shit up, they were like, that guy who was racist, or at least a white supremacist, was like, yo, you'll never have her. Like, that's too bad. And I was like, that's okay. I can accept not having that person. But I can also have a shitload more fun not having to worry about that person as I fuck your shit up, and I fuck his shit up, and I fuck his shit up. And they didn't know I was talking about them when I said that, but when they found out, they were like, oh, and they didn't want to deal with me because they didn't see that coming. You can expect people to be rational, but like at some point, you have to realize what's rational for you and what's rational for somebody else is completely different things. Like you might you might think that you have all your bases covered and that you are doing whatever it is you're supposed to do, but somebody can always throw like a wrench in there. Shit, fate can throw a wrench in there, and I don't really believe in fate. I believe shit happens and then you have to deal with it. But that's something that we'll talk about another time. I sincerely hope that me ranting helps me out more than it helps you out, and more than it helps like anybody who knows me and has seen this out. Because if you understand me, that is neither here nor there. Because a lot of people don't understand me, and a lot of people don't get it, and they'll be like, yeah, well, you're just crazy. And I'll be like, okay, fine, I'm just crazy. And being crazy is dismissive. Like, that's just a way of writing shit off and saying, I don't understand what you're doing or what your reasons are. But I can live with not being understood by most people. I think this girl understood me enough that she didn't like me. And that is okay. Because a lot of people don't like me when they understand me. And actually, the more somebody understands me, the more somebody tends to dislike me. And I can name some examples, but this is anonymous internet time, and that's what we're going to deal with. I hope everybody out there figures out what they want and at least is smart enough to know how to get the things they want. Like, I want to live the rest of my life with that girl, and I was willing to change my life and make a shitload of money to try and do it. But it doesn't mean that it'll happen. But in the meantime, I'll try and meet some other girl that I can at least kill time with that'll make me forget about her. Although I find that unlikely, because I would have to be able to look that person in the eye, and if we don't see eye to eye, then they have no chance. Or at least come very close. Thanks. Have a good night.